Pingua.
Hey, it's Mary from Pingua. Welcome, so glad you're here. We're going to look at adding movement with the arrow keys. Right now, Critter was bouncing around using the basic move, but we're going to change that to move Critter with the arrow keys. Let's take a look first at how this has been set up in the ice fishing game. In the ice fishing game, the kid travels along looking for a fish and following directions that are based on the XY grid. When the up arrow key is pressed, he changes Y by 30, traveling along the Y axis up and down, and traveling along the X axis when going to the left and right. Remember that underneath every single Game & Scratch, even when you can't see it, is this same X and Y grid. Let's set Critter up with this. So in the yellow events block, let's choose when space key is pressed, but use the drop down arrow to choose the up arrow key pressed. And in the blue motion blocks, let's get a change Y by 10. And remember that when Critter is traveling up and down on the stage, let's test this out. Yep, Critter goes up. Up and down is traveling along the Y axis, so we change Y by 10. Let's go back to the yellow events blocks, get a when space key pressed, but change it to when the down arrow key is pressed. Back to the blue ones and get another change Y by 10. Drag that in. Now, to tell the computer and Critter to go down instead of up, we need to change this to a negative number, negative 10. And now back to the yellow events and get another when space key pressed and change this to the left arrow, and get another one while we're here and change with the drop down menu to the when right arrow key is pressed. So now we have when the left arrow key is pressed and when the right arrow key is pressed. Back to the blue motion blocks, and now we need to change X, because when traveling along the left and right axis, you're traveling along the X axis. So there Critter goes up and down and to the right. And that's changing X by a positive number, changed by X by 10. But to tell Critter to go left, we need that same change X by 10, but we need to change this to a negative 10, a negative number, so that the computer and Critter know that Critter is supposed to go left, in the left direction, traveling along that X axis. Let's test. Up, down, left, and right. Perfect. Now there's another way to do this using the move up, down, left, right card and using the if-then blocks. So let's set this up first of all. When the green flag is clicked, I want Critter to start here in this left corner, and I can see Critter right now is at negative 197 in X and negative 130 for Y. That's Critter's current position, and down there that always will show you the location of your sprite. In the blue motion blocks, I can get a block that says go to X, and usually those numbers will match where Critter currently is or where your sprite currently is, but you should always double check that those numbers match. So now every time the green flag is clicked, Critter will go to that position. In the orange control blocks, I've grabbed an if-then block and drag that in. Notice the shape of the hole in the middle of the if-then block. It's one of the sensing blocks, and let's find one that matches the same shape, and what we need is one that tells us if a key has been pressed. So drag that one in and get it into the hole. Use the drop down menu to change that to the up arrow. So if the key up arrow is pressed, and we can just take the code from what we set up the first time, we're going to change Y by 10. Critter will travel along the Y axis in a positive up direction. We need another if-then block from the orange control blocks. Drag that in underneath the up arrow blocks. And now we need another sensing block, and put that into the hole. The if key is pressed, and change it to the if down arrow key is pressed. And we can just take the key code from where we set it up before, and remember now to tell the computer and critter to travel in the down direction, we need a negative number. Another if then block, and another sensing block for the next key. So if key, and use the drop down menu to get the left arrow. If the left arrow key is pressed, we're going to change x by -10. The negative number tells critter to go to the left on the x-axis. Another if then block from the orange command blocks, and another sensing key pressed block. Drop down menu to get the right arrow key pressing, and get to the last piece of code that we'd set up before. Change x by 10, the positive number, to tell critter and the computer that the movement should be to the right. I'm going to zoom out here one more time so that we can see all the code all at once. There we go. So we have it all set up. Let's test. But critter isn't moving. I'm touching the keys up and down and left and right, and critter is not moving. I check the green flag, and yes, all the code is here, and I'm clicking away on these keys and nothing is happening with critter. What are we missing? Let's go to the orange command blocks and get a forever loop and drop that in underneath where we want critter to start. That go to XY position for the starting, and it's now wrapping all the if-then statements. Now let's test. Yes, now it's working. The forever loop helps to tell the computer to keep checking to see if those keys have been pressed. And now critter is happily moving around, moving up, down, left, and right using the arrow keys. Now let's give critter his bounce. We're going to go to the looks blocks and get the next costume block, and yes, there's critter bouncing away, and I put that inside the forever loop so that critter will keep moving up, down, left, and right and keep bouncing. Thanks so much for watching. So glad you could come. Please remember to follow pingwa.com, and hope to see you in the next video.